Area right now, Florida's Department of Juvenile Justice is launching an investigation after a riot at a juvenile facility in Polk County. That violence broke out after a seemingly insignificant bet on a basketball game, sending several teens to the hospital. Chris Trankman gets us started tonight with more on this developing story.
We're here on the perimeter of the Avon Park Youth Academy next to the guard shack. On the other side of this perimeter, officials say that because of the riot, nearly all the buildings inside were totally trashed.
This was a full-blown riot.
Building after building, room after room, the damage could be seen throughout the campus for juvenile delinquents. The worst was in the medical building, where deputies say every drawer was ransacked in a search for drugs.
I was here last night. I watched them throw the objects at us and our deputies. I watched them break windows.
Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd says the riot was sparked by a wager over a basketball game between kids from Orlando and St. Petersburg. The bet, cups of noodles. When St. Pete lost and refused to settle up, the fighting started. Buildings were set on fire, golf carts were smashed into walls, and 7 kids were sent to the hospital, one with a broken leg.
I sobbed. I really actually physically fell down and sobbed. I thought, is my kid all right? Is he alive? Is he dead? And they minimize everything.
Jill Elkington says she was never informed about the riot and drove 3 hours to find her son after hearing about it in the news. She's filed complaints against the facility in the past for how the kids are treated.
We're paying for this. We're paying for these kids to be abused. They need to come down and investigate it. Actual outside investigators should swarm this place.
Sheriff Judd had little sympathy, saying many of the kids were the size of adults and knew right from wrong.
The parent that had that complaint should have raised her child right, so he wouldn't have committed crime and been there in the first place.
Several of the children at this facility were looking forward to getting out in the next few weeks, but Sheriff Judd says not so fast. He plans to pursue felony charges against any kids responsible for this riot. In Avon Park, Chris Trankman, ABC Action News.